I didn't really expect to make another video about this, but so much information has come to light that it's almost impossible for me not to make a video about this again. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, well, it's about a company known as PokeJapan. I really recommend watching this video right here because it explains everything that happened. But if you're already up to date, then let's start. Shortly after my video was released, I want you to guess what happened. PokeJapan completely shut down. They removed all their domain names and pretty much leaving anyone who ordered their boxes in the dust. So I'm just gonna give myself a little credit here. I was the first one to make a video about them and the first one really to expose them on YouTube. And actually some people followed in my footsteps, trying to expose them in more depth, which I definitely do recommend to watch. But it was only after my video was done and after I contacted Enlisted Leaf, who was sponsored by them, that they really said, oh shoot, we're screwed, I'm just gonna delete the whole entire website. Obviously, Enlisted Leaf would have found out sooner or later that they weren't sending out any of the orders, but hey, I'm just gonna give myself a little pat on the back for that. So one thing definitely changed from then is they shut down the whole website, which is pretty much confirming they were in fact total scam. But trust me, this gets a lot worse, because somebody on Instagram messaged me something I absolutely just couldn't ignore. Hey, is it possible to talk about PokeJapan? I used to work for them and I quit for a lot of reasons. Yes, I'm more than happy to. Any information is good information. Okay, so I started in October 2022. My position was a sort of raw buyer and grader. I had to find raw minty cards in the USA, where I live, and grade them through CGC as quickly as possible. I did this for about 2 months until I left in December. Now, when I first started, I was told there would be a total of 6 people working for the business, including the manager of operation, who was the CEO's brother-in-law. Every day I kept up with updates and new ideas and etc. I knew my role and I was very good at it. But then the final week happened. The CEO contacted me randomly, telling me we had to talk through the phone about a bad situation currently. We talked for almost 5 hours about his life, how his family left him. No one cares about him. He needs support as much as possible from me. And if I help, he will help me and my family. And how he knows the government and how it works. How he also has 80 startup companies, all ranging from snacks to Pokemon to shoes to clothing. And how he wants to create schools in third world countries. This man was going off about a lot. This is the CEO, by the way. So he then offered me the position of his brother-in-law, where I would run prices, distribution to the US, run the website. I told him it's fine as long as I get paid more. He said people should only get paid for their time they work. In other words, he wanted me to wait a month before payment, when I was already owed money from the card grading job. He gave me $2,500, $2,000 for the business and $500 for me. But we agreed to $5,000, $3K for the business and $2K for me. I never saw that money. And the next day after speaking to my wife, this happened. And the person who messaged me, aka Justin, he then continued to show screenshots of private messages he had with the CEO. Everything started as usual, however, their relationship became a little argumentative due to the CEO's dictatorship attitude. And because of this, Justin started to think this was all a little too fishy. So he asked for the money the CEO owed him for that month because of some family issues. And let's just say this is where the CEO really started to show his true colors. I don't think you realize the severity of everything's going on over here. I guarantee you it's a lot worse than what you're going through. So please just wait, and then I have time I will respond. Please just listen to my orders and I will help you out. Bad things keep happening to me and the business when people don't follow my instruction and try to tell me what to do when I clearly know what's best. These bad things that are happening to me are going to basically happen to them later. This is called karma. And I strongly believe in this. This isn't a threat and I won't directly do any harm to you. I'll be in charge of a lot more than just Broken Japan and just my business. Trust me, I know best. I know everything that's going on in this world and I will fix everything. Just listen to me, do what I say, and I will look after you for the rest of your life. Justin then responds, I understand the severity of the situation. I don't think you understand my situation, which is like many others. You tried preaching to me that you want to change the world and make it fair for others, yet you make so much money. You go to all these events for investors, you go to travel. Granted, I don't need one of those things to make me happy, but I'm realistic. Money is what pays the bills and keeps you afloat, sadly. Also, it very much sounds like a threat, and I will not risk my family for a job. I will receive all the graded cards, send them to your company when able. I know everything that's going on in this world, and I will fix everything. Just listen to me, do what I say, and I will look after you for the rest of your life. Sounds like either the most desperate attempt to keep someone or to try to strike fear into someone. I am no one's slave. I will work for leaders, not bosses. So again, unless you're paying me a set amount, which I now want quicker and more of, I will no longer be able to work for you. You seem too dangerous and too mentally difficult. If you truly are in pain or need someone to talk, you can leave the messages here or find someone else that you actually trust. Thank you. I want nothing to do with this anymore. You're attacking me for no reason other than trying to help and ask for more money because I will be working more and I have bills. Then Justin explains to me pretty much a summarization of everything that happened. He harassed me and my family. He spooked us when he said he'll take care of us, so I immediately backed out. I kept and sold all the graded cards as it was equivalent to $2,000 that I was owed to begin with. From what I remember, it was a 3-person job at the time of me leaving in mid-December. He has not been on Slack since. So one thing is clear, the CEO is definitely not right in the head, and he has no right to even be a part of this hobby. But maybe he's innocent. Well, according to this Reddit post, that might be the case. Before I say anything, please note that I do not have any access to products, nor have I been compensated for my work at PokeJapan. So please do not ask me for any cards or refunds on your purchase. I was not a higher up in the company. I am simply trying to explain what led to PokeJapan collapsing from my point of view. I was hired by PokeJapan on the 5th of December 2022. My work was essentially to pack orders and send them off. I had read reviews online and saw many people did not receive their order, so I was skeptical about the whole thing. Turns out the company was just very understaffed. They had one dude managing both the website and the packaging, plus some of the customer support, which led to orders having very long wait times so be shipped, and some would be lost due to the chaos. They were getting a lot of orders, so they hired me and some other person. Me and this other guy spent an entire week of work just packaging orders and sending them out as soon as possible. In 5 days of work, we managed around 400 packages sent. The site wasn't a complete scam, but rather very poorly organized and understaffed. In total, I think 4 to 6 people combined was working for the company, not nearly enough to keep up with the demand. The weekend hits and we're off work. On Monday, 12th of December 2022, I learned that the vice boss has quit. This was the dude who knew how to work everything, so him quitting was pretty bad news. I asked him about it and he said the company was treating him like the other new hire also gets fired only after 5 days of work. He did not do anything wrong. We did the same work together. I knew the ship was sinking, so I told my boss that I quit after only 5 days of work. I was not under any contract and I did not get paid for my 30 hours of work. Now there are 0 people to ship orders and nobody to manage the website. I don't know what happened initially after that, but it's safe to assume that the company couldn't handle firing the one guy who was carrying the whole entire effing thing, so it collapsed. Will PokeJapan come back? A hard no from me. I've witnessed the management and it's fair to say that it's not coming back and that no one will be refunded. So PokeJapan was just understaffed, right? So it's just because of that. Well, not really. It seems that this person has a limited amount of information, and it's a lot more than just not having enough staff.
Did this little interview, long story short, I joined the team. Well, I sold my first case, sent him the money, and then I sent the money for another case on top of
the first one. Did you pay for beforehand?
Yeah. Yeah.
What payment method did you use for that?
That Wise transfer.
Okay, it was always that Wise transfer stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, he didn't do PayPal because PayPal scanned him.
Right. You would think a big business like the one that he was claiming to have wouldn't have a problem with PayPal because that's how big businesses work. But it's a little bit of red flag. But
it was like a week, probably nothing. Well, then I finally got a hold of him, and we had gotten on a call. Well, said he didn't have a bunch of time, but on the call he was explaining to me that he worded it in his website to where he would be covered to where he couldn't be sued and he's been trying to pretty much get a loan from banks for like months for this shoe business that he's doing, and he couldn't do it. And
he mentioned to you on the phone that he couldn't get a loan for the shoe business, or sneaker business that he was starting?
Yeah, he said no banks want to give me a loan, no nothing. He said, I'm trying to change the world. I'm going to build hospitals. I'm going to do this. I'm like a bunch of crap. He was taking everybody's money from V-Star Universe since it was so hard to get and they were having printing issues. That gave him an excuse to take everybody's money, put it in the shoe business, and he said he would take care of them later.
It seemed the CEO was making every way possible for the money to not be tracked, or through a reliable source where you can actually get a refund if things go wrong, which is a massive red flag. Not only that, but he tried exploiting people where he couldn't be held accountable if he had late shipments or other ordeals, which is very scummy and shady business already. And not only that, but he tried to get loans from banks to start a shoe business while taking all the money from PokeJapan and putting the money into the new business, which is completely outrageous. You should have prioritized people that actually spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on your original PokeJapan site.
I can only imagine how many people, because when we were on the phone, he told me, he was like, look, just today we've already had almost $11,000 in transactions.
Okay, so and that was just like the first day?
That was just that day, he was saying.
Okay.
So
that was just one random day, or was that like the first day they went up or something?
No, this was like 2 weeks into V-Star being out.
Okay, so it could have been that much every day.
I can only imagine. Yeah, that could be that much every single day for a month.
They should have known, or I would say they definitely knew that they were going to be shutting down, and they just kept taking pre-orders for stuff that they had no idea whether they were going to get it or not, and then all of a sudden the store is gone.
He mentioned his brother stole all the money, cleaned all the accounts out. I guess him and his brother they went to go for the meeting for the shoe with the factory, I guess. I'm guessing his brother found out that he was scamming everybody and flipped out, because his brother, from what I took, his brother's the one that really built that business. His brother's the one that put in the legwork. His brother's the one that did the box. His brother did it all. He just advertised.
It seems that it's confirmed that his brother, or brother-in-law, ran away from the company, and I have my reasons of why. More or less, it's kind of apparent why he left. There's an endless sea of dirt on the CEO, and I do recommend to watch this video right here if you want to watch an in-depth video of a whole catalog of things he said to employees. So we're getting pretty close to the end, and what I want to highlight is a person. That person is enlisted leave. It's quite sad that he got himself involved with partnering up with this company, but even with his mistake, he openly apologized and is trying his best to sort out everything.
I know what you're thinking. You're like, Ando, didn't this set come out 2 weeks ago? Why are we so late opening it up? Well, you wouldn't believe it, but the old channel sponsor, PokeJapan, the guy that used to send me my booster boxes, he's literally gone up and straight deleted his website. So everything was going fine. He was sending out all the orders. The company was fantastic. And then around the V-Star Universe release date, he just deleted everything. And a couple of days after that, I was informed that he wasn't even sending out the orders, the website had been deleted, so I've literally removed every mention of him across the channel. We've edited out that section of the video, we've removed all the links. So I just want you to know, if you have placed an order with PokeJapan, I am working really hard behind the scenes with a couple of epic YouTubers and really helpful people. OKJLove has been fantastic. Behind the scenes, we are working actually really close to getting a resolution and everyone's order refunded. But for now, Ando's not going to have any channel sponsors sending in booster boxes. I think let's just enjoy some Pokemon cards, and I promise I will get a resolution.
Now everything comes to a close. The PokeJapan website is now shut down, and now you know not to get yourself involved with anyone named James who wants to hire people. Even though the site shut down, this won't change everything. More sites and more companies will come in the future, lying to you, deceiving you, and saying they're out to help you, all because of money. This has been going around since the beginning of time, and it shows no sign of stopping. This is just a little thing called greed.